East African states adopt regional COVID-19 tourism recovery plan. The East African regional ministers had met virtually under the chairmanship Kenyan Minister for Tourism and Wildlife, Najib Balala, and all agreed to take recovery measures. The ministers agreed to adopt collective and coordinated approach targeting tourism recovery plan calls for creation of stimulus packages aimed at reigniting the sector. Plan calls for supporting tourism investments in the region including the small and micro enterprises. Setting to recover from COVID-19 pandemic impacts on tourism and wildlife conservation, the East African regional states have designed and adopted regional COVID-19 tourism recovery plan that seeks to revive travel and tourism sector badly hit by the global pandemic. The East African regional ministers had met virtually under the chairmanship Kenyan Minister for Tourism and Wildlife, Najib Balala, and all agreed to take recovery measures. Among such measures are the creation of stimulus packages aimed at reigniting travel and tourism sector and supporting tourism investments in the region, including the small and micro enterprises. The ministers also agreed to adopt collective and coordinated approach targeting tourism recovery that entails interventions aimed at reinforcing the measures being developed and implemented at national levels. They further considered and approved the draft regional guidelines for resumption of services in the tourism sector and hospitality establishments. While approving the guidelines, the ministers agreed that there was a need for EAC harmonized guidelines for resumption of the tourism and hospitality services in the region. The ministers noted that the regional guidelines would help in ensuring coherence in resumption of tourism services and help in rebuilding trust and confidence with international tourists visiting the region. Among the strategic directions and the corresponding strategic actions in the East African Community's tourism marketing strategy is the development of regionally and internationally competitive multi-destination tourism products. Other directions are the marketing of East Africa as a leading regional tourism destination in Africa, branding the East Africa as a leading tourism destination, and strengthening the marketing policy and institutional framework and enhancing East African regional tourism marketing and promotion financing. The ministers also agreed to establish the annual EAC Regional Tourism Expo (EARTE) with the aim of improving the visibility of the region and marketing it as a single tourist destination. The sectoral council decided that the United Republic of Tanzania will host the first EARTE in October this year. In his opening remarks, Mr. Balala stressed the partner states working together especially in addressing the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the tourism sector and in joint tourism recovery efforts. Balala said that the pandemic had indicated the importance of building then developing domestic and regional tourism markets which are key and they can help in making the tourism sector resilient in case of future disasters and pandemics. The pandemic has revealed that the EAC member states can use technology to connect with each other and have meetings through virtual interactions. The EAC Secretary-General Dr. Peter Mathuki said that the tourism sector was one of the most important areas of cooperation for EAC, owing to its contribution to the economies of the partner states. It holds about 10% of the regional gross domestic product (GDP), 17% export earnings and 7% jobs creation. It is therefore really important that we invest heavily. Tourism multiplier effect and linkages with other sectors that are instrumental in our integration such as agriculture, transport and manufacturing are quite immense, Dr. Mathuki said. Travel and tourism sector was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic more than any other economic sector at the global level, he said. Through recovery efforts initiated by partner states, it would really be helpful for the EAC region to come together to implement joint actions aimed at the recovery of the sector as well as laying a strong foundation for its future development. The EAC regional ministers also considered and approved to draft regional tourism marketing strategy, which seeks to position the EAC region as the best and most affordable regional tourism destination in Africa. Strategies now in place under the EAC regional tourism are greatly supported and encouraged by the African Tourism Board (ATB). The African Tourism Board is now working on developing, marketing and promoting the African continent as the world's leading destination.